Hello, my name is Peter Arthur, and I'm the Technical Training Manager at Nidec Drives Americas. Today, I'm especially excited to show you the latest version of our Connect drive commissioning software, Connect 3.0. Connect 3.0 brings a totally new look and feel to the software. In addition to the new look, our software team have made some dramatic improvements to the functionality of this software with an emphasis on ease of use. So without further hesitation, let's dive in and have a look. The first thing you'll notice is the new Connect icon, which is right here. I'll go ahead and click on that to open the software now. We have a new splash screen too. This is the Connect home screen, and it's the first screen to appear when you open the software. Here is where I can open an existing project, or I can create a new project using the tools shown here. Along the left side of the screen, there's some very useful links. To begin, clicking on the Scan menu will present you with options for how to connect to any drives that might be connected to your PC. Those of you who have used previous versions of Connect will notice that there are a couple new options here. First, and if your drives are going to be part of an EtherCAT network and you're using Beckhoff's TwinCAT software, we now offer connection using a Beckhoff TwinCAT ADS network connection. This option represents a much more robust connection when compared to the Ethernet EoE option that is also available here. The other new choice is to use Bluetooth LE. If your drive is equipped with our new KI Keypad Plus keypad, choose this option to go online without the need for Ethernet or serial cables. Now, let's explore some of these new features in Connect 3.0 in a little more detail. This is the user interface for Connect 3.0. The first thing you'll notice is that there's no more dashboard. Rather, our software team have completely redesigned the user interface from the ground up. Starting with the control ribbon, you'll immediately notice the sleek new icons. In addition to the new icons, the icons used to work with drive parameter files have now been relocated to a more obvious spot. A very subtle enhancement is that once a drive has been detected and added to a project, Connect 3.0 automatically uploads the data from that drive into the project. That way, if you've used Connect to assign a static IP address to a drive, you won't have to remember to upload from the drive first to include the updated Ethernet settings in your project. To verify that, I'll expand the Parameters view and open the Ethernet configuration. See how my static IP address that I assigned from the home screen is already part of the project. The Project Explorer view has also changed. Not only is it visually improved, it's functionally improved too. I'm working with a single drive in this example, but if there were more drives in the project, they'd be displayed up here. You'll notice that some of the headings in the Project Explorer have inward pointing arrows next to them. That indicates that there are more items contained in that heading. To view those items, click on the arrow to expand the selection like this. Let's look at the newly redesigned terminal overview. In Connect 3.0, the terminal layout reflects the physical design of the control terminals of the drive you're working with. In my case, it's a Digitex M750, so the terminals are arranged to reflect the physical wiring of the terminal. As you can see, it's divided into the left and right sides, just as it is on the drive. Further, you no longer need to know what sequencer parameter you need to assign, since you can simply use the drop-down menu instead. Now for the most exciting part of Connect 3.0, the guided drive setup. Perhaps the best new addition to Connect is the guided setup feature. This feature makes it very easy to commission a drive by simply following the stops along the track at the top of the screen. The stops are designed to be followed in order, but you may also click on a stop to jump to that stop at any time. Each stop screen contains all the tools necessary for that stop. To show you how this works, I'll go online with my drive and start the commissioning process. I've defaulted this drive, and it's now tripped. Here's another new feature. If I hover over the status button, like this, it'll tell me what the trip is, provide me with troubleshooting assistance, and I can reset that trip all in the same place. I'll click Next to move to the motor and feedback stop. The motor I'm using is our model XVM604, so I'll enter that into the search bar. There it is. In Connect 3, the motor database has been expanded to include our entire line of motors. You may also create and then save custom motors by entering the motor data manually, giving it a new name, and then saving it. This drive is showing a thermistor trip. That's because the XVM motors do not include a thermistor. To remedy this, I'll choose None for thermistor fault detection. Notice how the trip cleared itself? That's yet another new feature of Connect 3.0. The feedback type for this motor is AB servo. I'll need to change the P1 rotary lines per rev to 2048 to match the encoder on this motor. Since I've made an adjustment to the encoder settings, I need to reset the encoder trip in order to move on using the new data. Now I'll show you the most powerful new feature of Connect 3.0, and that is the performance tuning stop. This is the performance tuning stop. As you can see, our software team has been hard at work. They have completely redesigned our software oscilloscope in order to make it more functional and easier to use. In order to use this stop, I will have had to complete a unloaded rotating auto tune, which I've already done, as well as a motor and load inertia test. I'll jump back there so you can see. I have an inertia wheel attached to my motor, and the inertia mismatch works out to be about 12-1. So it's not a lot, but nonetheless, it is a load. So let's go back to the performance tuning stop now. The most important feature that we have included is you now have the ability to create a motion profile that you can use to adjust gains while monitoring performance. So across the top, we have analog signals, and digital. So for my needs today, I want to look at motor speed feedback, speed reference, and I'll also look at speed error. I have the current limit active digital channel enabled here, and I'm going to disable that because I don't need to look at it right now. There we go. So now we'll go back to the analog channels. Now, in order to use the profile, I must take control of the drive. So I will do that. And here is my profile. I've got a speed of 1,000 RPM, a time of 3 seconds for that to complete, with an accel decel fairly aggressive, 200 milliseconds for each. So, as it shows here, I'll begin by closing the safe torque off on my drive. There we go. And I'm going to start the oscilloscope now. Let's see what my profile looks like. Okay, I'll stop that. I'd like to get a little more resolution, so I'm going to increase the sweep time, and I'm going to bring it down, way down to about 250 milliseconds. There we go. Now let's run again. There. Now you can see I'm getting a little overshoot. So to adjust my gain terms, I'm going to go to the Tuning tab. And while I could enter the gain terms manually, I prefer to use this bandwidth adjustment instead. Now watch the overshoot that I'm getting as I increase the gain terms. Notice it's getting smaller. There, it's almost gone now. There we go. So as with any tuning, it's an iterative process, which means I may need to go back and forth to get the results that I desire from my application. But this is a very powerful new feature found in Connect 3.0. In conclusion, I hope you'll agree that Connect 3.0 is the new standard in drive configuration software. Thank you for watching, and thank you for choosing Control Techniques.